Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have Honed Metal. This is a mod that offers an alternate crafting and enchanting system for Skyrim. The way it works is extremely simple. It just makes it so blacksmiths and enchanters all over Skyrim will offer their services to the player. This is useful for a variety of reasons, the main one being that you're no longer forced to build into the smithing or enchanting trees just to get better gear. So if you're roleplaying and your character happens to not know smithing and is against the magical arts, then this is perfect for you. And finally, blacksmiths and enchanters refer to their supposed services all the time, with Alvor claiming whatever we need by Ismir, if it's simple and strong, he can forge it. Well, now he finally can. Everything is handled as you'd expect it to be. Blacksmiths can either forge you entirely new weapons and armour or temper gear you currently own. However, it also takes each individual blacksmith's skills and perks into account, so if they're an amateur you'll be limited to some of the weaker materials and they won't be able to temper your gear very far. So you'll have to find some more talented smiths as you want your gear to improve, but of course these more talented individuals come at an increased cost. The total price takes the cost of the materials plus an additional fee depending on the smith. By default there's also a waiting time of 1 day for each order. All of this is the same for the enchanting features too, so their ability to enchant or recharge your weapons depends on their individual skill. The mod works by using vanilla menus, and because of that it's fully compatible with all other mods, including those that add new armor and weapons to the game. However, the mod doesn't create recipes, so if the item isn't craftable to start with, then you won't be able to get the smith to craft it. Sometimes you're required to give the NPCs certain items so they can complete your order. For example, when enchanting or tempering, they'll need the piece of gear you want serviced, so you'll have to hand that over beforehand. However, in more unique and higher leveled cases, you'll need to provide more materials. For example, no smiths hold ebony or dragonbone, so you'll need to provide those beforehand. The same goes for rare and more powerful enchantments. Pretty much every feature can be configured in the mod menu, so if you want them to have rare materials then you can turn that on. You can also disable the waiting times, change individual NPC skill levels, prices and much more. How balanced the mod is will probably come down to personal opinion as well as other mods in your load order. As an example, the mod technically opens up higher level gear earlier than normal, but realistically you won't be able to afford any of it in the early game anyway, especially if you're using an economy overhaul like the trade and barter mod. We think the mod does a good job in adding realistic requirements and limitations to the system, like having to provide higher leveled materials and the 1 day waiting time. Even just having to travel around and find a smith that's capable of crafting what you want is encouragement for taking on the skill yourself. So there's definitely still plenty of motivation for building into smithing and enchanting. Another mod in a similar vein and we'd recommend is Order My Items. This is a mod that lets you order items from specialists without having to wait for merchants to restock their gear. So basically if you wanted some iron to build your hearthfire home, then you can order a stack of it from a blacksmith, and then after waiting a couple of days and paying a 15% order fee you can collect your order. On top of ingots you can also order entire sets of gear, and from alchemists you can order individual ingredients. So this is another handy mod that you might want to use separately, but we think they complement each other well. Overall there's a few mods that add similar features to the game, but Honed Metal is one that we've used in the past and it just works well. It's also one of the few that works for smithing, enchanting and is compatible with pretty much all of the mods. So if you're interested in giving it a go then you can find everything you need down below. Always be sure to leave an endorsement on any mod you enjoy, and thanks for watching.